is present. So yeah, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Android Study Jams. I'm Kritik from Sri Krishna College of Technology, and I'm the Android lead for SKCT in Coimbatore. And in this session, I'm teaming up with my Flutter lead, Mrs. Tamil Kannan. And together, we will be covering the basics of Kotlin today. And also, we will be covering the basics of Android development in general, and also about the mobile application industry. So without any further ado, let us quickly get into the session. So yeah, today we will be covering these topics basically. So the first one is the importance of Kotlin and why we use Kotlin today and the advantages of it. And I'll be sharing basics, basic syntax and basic stuff that you need to work with Kotlin. And the third thing is, and I will also share you the Android development in Kotlin course, which is a course provided by Google, which will help to boost your career. So let me get into this today's session. So yeah, if you ask me, what is Kotlin? So Kotlin is a cross-platform, statically typed, general-purpose programming language. So Kotlin is a modern-day programming language, and it has been inspired of languages that came before it. For example, Java, C++, Python. So Kotlin contains all the functions and feature, which is very helpful from all these languages. So this is developed around 2010. So it is pretty new compared to other languages. So basically the creators of the language really tried to take the best of those languages and really put into a single language that makes it really easy for developers to use and help them to be really productive on their app development. So yeah, Kotlin is a general purpose programming language, meaning it can be used for a wide range of applications. You can use it for machine learning, Android development, and a lot of other stuff. Yeah. So the main thing of Kotlin is it supports both functional programming as well as object-oriented programming paradigms, which is a huge deal in terms of programming language. So Kotlin is statistically typed, which means that the type of data that you need to enter is determined at compile time, so that it helps to reduce a lot of errors that occurs in the execution. So this is a pretty helpful feature in Kotlin. So Kotlin is also smart, okay, and it knows what type that you want to use. So it actually cuts down the amount of code that you need to write, making it faster to develop. So another key perk of Kotlin is it is open source, and it was created by JetBrains at first, and then Google joined in, and then they had a partnership, and they now Google and JetBrains together protect, promote, and advance the Kotlin programming language today. And so there's a lot of investment in this language, so that you can learn this language and be assured that you will definitely get a career out of it. So yeah, all right, we have covered what is Kotlin. So let me just briefly give you the history of Kotlin. So yeah, in the screen we have the history of Kotlin. So Kotlin was started as a project by JetBrains on 2010. Later on 2016, Kotlin 1.0 version official release was released by Google and JetBrains. And in 2017, Google announced that it was officially supported language for Android, which is huge for Android development. And before that, you'll be using Java for developing Android applications. And after 2017, Kotlin was also added to the library for developing native Android apps. So yeah, in the recent year, 2019, at Google I/O, which is a huge event organized by Google every year, where they release and announce their latest features, their latest line of products, and all their services together. In 2019, Google announced that Android would become Kotlin first, which means some of the features like Jetpack features and API, which is application programming interface, and some of new things are to be going to be released in Kotlin first, and then it's going to be translated to Java. So as a developer, in order to take advantage of the latest and greatest of the Android platform, you really want to start investing in Kotlin so that you can take advantage of those perks that you have with Kotlin. So, and I also wanted to add that Kotlin as a language has also been improving over time. As I said earlier, Google has been providing with a lot of funding in order to improve this language, to make it stable and keep it mainstream in the Android development community. So as of March 2020, Kotlin 1.4 preview was released on 2020, and now we are having 1.5 preview of Kotlin. So yeah, so we have briefly discussed both what is Kotlin and the history of it. So let us just quickly go on into why Kotlin. So there should be a question, right? Why we need to use Kotlin? You can use Java, right? So there are a lot of perks that comes with Kotlin. So we as Android developers enjoy these a lot. So let me share you some experiences we get with Kotlin only. So the first thing is Kotlin is basically a very expressive language. When I say expressive, it means that you can express the concepts that you want in your code with a very few lines of code. So it basically cuts down the code down to its core elements. So when you compare it with Java, you will be ending up with 30% less code when compared with Java, which is a huge productivity gain for a lot of companies who have market in app development. So yeah, so Kotlin also tries to help you catch mistakes ahead of time, and it also prevents from even making mistakes. So how it does it? There is something called as null safety in Android, in which a variable is it's designated to value null, and at the time of execution, this null value creates an exception, which is a pretty big problem in Android development. So if you take the stats, more than 70% of Android apps gets crashes once due to null pointer exception. So Kotlin introduces a new and secure way to deal with nulls. So in Kotlin, you cannot directly assign null to any variable or any sort. In Kotlin, no variable by default can be set to null. So this is a huge boon for Android developers who forgets to provide the definition of a variable or an object. So this is the null safety provided by Kotlin. So another huge feature of Kotlin is that Kotlin is 100% improvable with the Java. Like Kotlin is based on Java, right? So they have built based on JVM. And so if you have already developed many Android projects in Java, you can just easily convert them into Kotlin, or you can use code, Kotlin code along with Java. It supports it so that you can use both Kotlin and Java in your Android application. So if you already have a Java application, you can add new features and other stuff using Kotlin, which is a huge, to be honest, and it is pretty good. Next is the tool compatibility. You have a lot of tools for Kotlin, like other languages. You do have IntelliJ for as a basic software development environment, and you also have Android Studio, which will be using for developing Android apps, or you also have support in Eclipse. And so on the tool side of things, Kotlin is pretty stable today. So yeah, another big benefit of Kotlin is structured concurrency. So let me explain what it is. In an Android app, typically you will have a lot of background applications, like operations, to be specific, like network calls or database operations, which you need to perform for the app to be running. And to do this in an organized way, Kotlin provides a thing called coroutines, which is actually small processes. The processes is actually smaller than the threads. So if you know threads, it is a pretty small process. So even inside threads, you have coroutines in Kotlin, which helps you to cut down a lot of error that happens to multi-threading and other stuff. So due to these advantages, Kotlin has actually grown to be the #4 most loved language among developers, based on a survey which was conducted by Stack Overflow at 2019. And on the right, I have presented with you the chart of which languages position. You can clearly see that Kotlin takes #4 with the overall percentage of 62.9%, which is pretty huge. So yeah, so once why, it answers the question why we use Kotlin instead of Java. So yeah, Kotlin has a lot of technical advantages, to be honest. So with these covered, let me just quickly go into the basics of a Kotlin. So yeah. All right, so we are going to dive right into some examples of what the code look like. Here's the basic function. So as a tradition in every language, we used to do this simple program. So to print hello world. So this is the basic syntax of Kotlin. So here we have a main function. So every Kotlin program requires a main function as an entry point of execution. Without your main function, Kotlin is not executed. So execution starts at main. So main is pretty important in Kotlin, like C. It's basically similar to C. So, and this program just simply prints hello world. This is the syntax. So yeah, let me go on to the variables in Kotlin. So yeah, in Kotlin, basically there are Kotlin provides you two types of variables. One is a mutable one and another one is an immutable one. So the mutable one is called var. So this variable can take various values and it can be changed throughout the program. So if you want your variable to be a constant and shouldn't be changed at any instance, so you can use val. So val refers to immutable type in Kotlin. So if you declare with an val keyword before the variable, if you change the value afterwards, you will be getting an error and an exception. So yeah, this is the basic syntax for what to say for declaring a variable in Kotlin. So the first thing is you start with the keyword var or val. According to your requirements, you can keep val for mutable and val for immutable, and followed by variable name. So which will be the variable, which will be the name of the variable, and then colon, and then the data type. Data type which you're gonna store the value of this variable, and then followed by the value of the variable. So this is the basic syntax for declaring variable in Kotlin. So yeah, let us go to the syntax for other stuff like a control flow and other things. So as you know, let us go to if-else statement, which is a pretty basic control statement of every programming language. So the if-else statement executes a block of code if specified condition is true. So if the condition is false, it's going to execute the else statement. So this is the basics of if-else statement, as you know, and this is the syntax through which you declare the if-else statement here. So you put the basic keyword if and followed by brackets, and inside the brackets you provide with the condition which you need to test in order to run the code inside this block. So if this condition fails, it's going to automatically run the code block which is present inside the else block. So this is the basic syntax for if-else statements in Kotlin. So let us go to the another thing called when statement. If you ask what is when is nothing. Like it is the same as switch case that you use in other languages such as Java and C. So here in when statement, you can use an expression or a condition inside the brackets. It's simply like a switch statement, as I said before. So if it is used as an expression, the value of the first matching branch comes the value of the overall expression. So let me just quickly explain. See here we have declared when keyword and then the condition to follow. So if the condition is 1, it's going to print, it's going to execute this line of code. When the condition is this specified value, it's going to print this specified line of code. So this is the basics of when statement. And as you can see, when compared with other languages, this is pretty simplified. In other languages, you have to do something like case 1, case 2, case 3. Here, the syntax is pretty simple, and it boils down to the condition here, and then followed by an hyphen and then arrow, and then the code which you want to execute when this condition occurs. So yeah, this is the basics of when statement in Kotlin. So let me move ahead with loops. So for loops, the first loop you have is a for loop, basic for loop. So as you know, for loop is a control flow statement for specifying iteration. If you want to run your code in multiple iterations, we generally use for loop. And the syntax for loop in Kotlin is also pretty straightforward. You just go with the keyword for, and then the condition or the range or the number of times you want to execute this bunch of code, and then you go down with the code block. So this is the basics of for loop. And we go to the syntax of while loop. In Kotlin, while is also pretty straightforward. You put down the keyword while, and then the condition which it needs to check, and then the code block which you want to run if the condition is true. So this is the basic syntax for while. So another thing is, let us go to do while loop. The do while loop is also similar to while loop. The difference is this loop will execute once and then check the condition. So whereas in while loop, the condition is checked first before the execution of this code block. But in do while, the code will be executed once and then only the condition will be checked. So this is the difference between do and do while. And we can see that again, the syntax is pretty straightforward. You can easily read it. The starting is do, and then the block of code, and then the while and the condition followed by it. So yeah, functions. So as I said earlier, Kotlin follows both function programming, function-oriented and object-oriented programming language. So functions play a major role in Kotlin. So yeah, in Kotlin, as of other programming language, we have two functions, which is basically built-in functions and user-defined functions. So some of the famous built-in functions that we use a lot is like print statement and other statements are built-in functions, which is pre-baked into the Kotlin library. So the syntax for declaring user-defined function is also pretty straightforward in Kotlin. So simply we put the keyword for defining a function in Kotlin is fun. So you go down with it and the name of the function which you need to do, and then open the brackets, and here you will be providing with the parameters, aka the inputs that you want to be inside your function. So here I have declared two variables of type int. So the basic thing is you got to declare the variable name and its data type. So here I have taken two integers as my parameters, and inside my block of code or function, I just declared another variable called result, and simply add those values and print the result. So this is the basic thing I have done with this user-defined function. So inside the main function, I'm just defining two variables and then passing on to this user-defined function, and this will be simply printing me the value of the function. So this is the basic of functions in Kotlin. So this is pretty helpful in Kotlin as of other languages. So here we come to an end for the basic syntaxes and pretty much basics of Kotlin. From here you can learn from other stuff. So, and I will be telling from here, I will be telling how to get certified, Google certified professional if you want to pursue Android development. So the first step is to create your Google developer profile. So you can do this by going into this website or simply searching for Google developers and then create a new profile of your own. So once you have done that, you can simply you should make your profile as public. So once you have done it, your profile will be public, and all your everyone with your profile can view what you have learned, the badges you have earned, and other stuff. So the next stuff you want to do is go to the course called Android Basics in Kotlin, which is a course provided by Google. And this course is pretty huge and satisfactory. You can learn from the basics of Kotlin to developing a Kotlin application of your own and pushing it into Play Store. This thing course has the complete syllabus to get started and going in the Android field. So yeah, this course basically contains 6 units and then 16 pathways. So a badge will be given to you after successful completion of each pathway. Basically what you need to do is study the pathway, and at the end of a pathway, a respective quiz will be given to you, and you need to pass this quiz in order to attain the badge. So once you complete all the pathways in the quiz, all the 16 badges will be added to your Google developer profile, which you can send it to your respective facilitators and get them verified, and they will be providing you with a certificate of completion. So this will be just a certification of completion. So if you want to be originally certified by Google as a Google certified profession, you need to attend this exam called AAD certification, which is, by the way, a paid certification. So what you need to do is pay around $150 US in order to appear on this exam. And once you have paid that, there will be examination. So this examination will be an 8-hour examination, and you have to complete all the questions there. And once you have passed the examination, you will be receiving the original Google certification. But the catch is this certification will be valid only for 3 years. After 3 years, again, you have to write the exam. So this is how you can get become a certified professional Android developer from Google. So yeah, as I said, these will be the batches you will be getting, and this is the simple breakdown of the course that is provided by Google. I have personally gone through all of these, and this stuff is gold. You can use it to learn from, you can go from a basic developer to almost average developer using this course. And yeah, I really recommend this course for you to study. So yeah, thank you. If you have any queries, you can ask me in the in the end of this session. From now on, Mr. Tamil Kannan will be taking this session. So yeah, thank you.
Hello. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Kritik. To the participants of from GDSC Bakhtiyarpur College of Engineering and from GDSC Sairam Institute of Technology, I'll be posting the form links for registering for the event and getting the course links. So the respective college, they can access the links to the respective forms. I'll be posting in the chat right now. So
also, before Tamil Karan starts, I would like to just remind all the participants that please be here to learn and not for certifications, because you might be in your first year or your second year and you might be in that race of collecting as many certificates as you can, but that actually doesn't help in the real world. The skills that you are going to learn in this session is going to help you. So certificates are actually secondary, and what you learn here is primary. So I would encourage each one of you to please concentrate on the session and learn as much as you can. Thank you. I think Tamil Kannan can start with this presentation.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, all. It's an immense pleasure to see you all in this meet. Give me a minute. I should share my presentation.
Like Tamil Kannan, a minute. Sorry to interrupt you. Like I said before, the participants from Sri Sairam Institute of Technology, you can use the second link to register the form, like the Kritik informed you in the previous half an hour. you have to create a public developer profile, and you have to share it with us. Just go through the full registration form that we have shared with you. Now over to Mr. Tamil Kannan. Thank you so much, Mr. Tamil Kannan.
Yeah.
You can take over the session.
Yes. Okay. Okay. I hope the screen is visible, right?
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah. Let me resume the session with some things about Android applications. So I hope there are 100 more people are in this meet. Yeah, many of the people are using your Android devices, right? So what is an Android application first? So now Android application is an application which is running on an Android platform, right? So so that is what about Android application. There are a lot of Android applications in the global market. Like if you open a Play Store, if you search for an application like a calculator, you can get around more than 100 of results in that in the Google Play Store. If you search for an application, so there is a vast range of applications for a single tag. So that is an application, Android application. So how can we develop an Android application? So we use two kinds of languages like Kotlin and Java. As Kritik said, Kotlin is being a very useful and very simple language for developing Android applications. So Google officially prefers Kotlin for developing Android applications. Do anyone know why the Google is preferring Kotlin than Java? Well, let me say the thing, because first, a couple of years ago, Java is being the most used preferred language for developing Android applications, and now Google is switched over to Kotlin because there is a dispute between Oracle and Google for using their Java API. So everyone know that Java is being developed by Oracle, right? So Oracle is the official founder of Java. And Oracle is providing some sources like API to Google for developing applications for their Android platform. So Android is an application, is a platform, is an operating system owned by Google, and Java is a language developed and owned by Oracle. So Oracle is started monitoring the things being used by Google for their application. So it became a dispute between those two companies, and they went off the case, and finally Oracle won the case. So so as a result, Google preferred using Kotlin. So why Google? There are a lot of languages, right? Like Python, R, and there are a lot of languages. So why Kotlin, like Google prefers Kotlin is an open source language, as Kritik said, and it is also licensed under Apache 2.0. So it is very easy for Java developers to easily switch over to Kotlin also. So that is the main reason for Google to adopt Kotlin. So on the next, as I said, there are very large number of applications are available in Play Store. So most of the applications are now being developed by Kotlin. Like most of the applications like Wikipedia, Reddit, and EndNote, everything. Most of the applications we see in we use in our daily life, like Udemy, and most applications we use in our daily day-to-day routine is being developed by Kotlin. So there is a major scope for Kotlin in Android development platform also. So this is a kind of launches, and everything is being developed because so this is the market move. Like Java in 2013, Java is in the peak, and the days go on, the Java is since now also there is a Java developed applications, though there is a Kotlin developed applications have been occupying the market because it is more simple and it makes the application more faster. So if you buy a new phone, if you install an application like a sharing application or a files application, if the application opens very slowly, will you like the application? No, right? So if you there must be beautiful, the application must be beautiful and performance and more efficient. So that is being liked by every person. So as a developer point of view, we need to make the application more efficient and more beautiful. So Kotlin makes the use of some advanced API technologies, so as to make the application more efficient and size. Size is the main criteria for everyone, because nowadays we are playing PUBG and Free Fire kind of games, like, right? There are the size of the applications are much larger, right? Like 1 point some GBs and 2 GB. So nowadays the mobile storage are like 64 GB or 128 GB storage available. But if you are in the long term, if you are using a mobile phone for a long term, if you are using, you cannot use large applications, right? Your storage will be highly occupied, right? So storage is our main concern, and Kotlin makes it pretty good for making applications lighter and much faster and much efficient. So, and this is a simple code difference for why we are preferring Kotlin than Java. So here is the left side, you can see public class user. This is a simple data class. With some simple model user. You are getting first name and last name. Just we are getting the first name and the last name. For that, we are writing these much lines of code in Java. But in Kotlin, we have just simplified the codes, like class user, where name, as Kritik said, where first name. It's a null safety, right? Kotlin also uses null safety, and just 2 lines of code. It's a 4 lines of code. But in Java, we are using a lot more lines of code, like setter, getter, everything. So this is the main reason, and it makes the code very simpler, modular, and functional also. So this is why people prefer Kotlin than Java. And here comes we just been discussing about what languages are we are using for developing applications. We have completed developing an application, completed coding, testing, everything has been done. At last, we need to deliver our applications, right? We need to package. We have prepared a food, we need to deliver it to some people. So there are 2 ways for delivering our applications to people. Like the first thing is APK, the most popular thing, and then .aab. So most of us know what is an APK is. It's an Android package, which has been officially used since the Android app, platform is being deployed to the people. So, and AAB is a new technology introduced especially for Google Play Store. So let me share you what is the difference between the APK and AAB, which is more efficient, and why Google is preferring AAB than APK. So the first thing is size. The main thing is size. So how the AAB is reducing the size? So we can say it's a very the code is same. We are developing the application in the same code. But how the APK, just this application extension like packaging, how can we save the space? So here you can see Clash of Clans, Flipkart, Netflix, and Ola, LinkedIn. These much applications use Kotlin, and also they use .aab packaging technique. So by using the AAB packing Android app bundle technique, they can reduce their application size to 8% and 26% and 57%. If to acquire your customers, like if you are deploying your application to Play Store and you need to attract your customer, attract your users, the main thing, if you, as I said before, if you search for a simple calculator application, you can end up with lot number of results, right? You can at least 100 results you can see in your Google Play Store. But if in the user point of view, how will you choose an application? Like it must be smaller in size, right? If you can see as application in just a 1 MB of size, you will easily install because it won't cost you much, right? If a simple calculator application has a size of 10 MB, 20 MB, you may have a doubt, right? You may stop at the thing. Why this simple calculator application has 20 MB of size? Though the calculator application is simply doing the calculation operation, the size matters, right? So the AAB, Google is preferring using AAB. So how the AAB is reducing the size? So you're creating an application, you're distributing it to the world, right? If you are deploying it to your Play Store, the application will be available to a wide range of people. Wide range of people in the who are using your Google Play Store can see your application, right? So if a person from America is using your application, he uses English as his device language. In France, he uses French. In Chinese, in China they use Chinese, right? So default APK contains all those language files. Though you're not creating it, it automatically, Android Studio automatically creates all those things for you. So Chinese language files are not necessary for an English user, right? So what AAB does is it removes unnecessary files from unnecessary files being used on system, right? If you are using an English supported and a large screen device, right? There are many various sizes of Android devices in the market. So you're using a large screen size device. You don't need the resources needed for a small screen size device, right? So it removes the thing. Like you can see in the picture here, you can see language CZ, language F4. So you can see in the right as a dynamic delivery, you can see some files are missing, right? Here gdscskct DPI is a large file screen size, and these are the architecture. So only the needed things. So various brands of mobile are creating various Android devices. So as a result, we can sort what resources are needed for what application. So it may result in smaller in file size. So this is how an IAB is reducing your size burden of applications. So, and this is the thing. See, this is a Pixel 2 XL device which has an English as an ES language and has a size we can say it as a resolution XXX HDPI and has an architecture of ARM64. But your Android application, like your Android package contains all this ES, EN, 86 x86 architecture and ARM64 architecture and everything. But this device don't need this tool, this architecture and this language, right? So what Google Play Store does is removes these two files needed for that application, and it creates another APK, optimized APK, and provides to your device. And as a result, you can get a smallest file sized application. So as of now, AAB is only supported in Google Play Store. You cannot deploy your AAB in any other distributing platforms. So next, so how can we test our application? So that's what AAB and APK is. We have just built an a package. So yeah, we need to test, right? How this application works on different devices. So you may have an Android 11 device or Android 10 device or Android 9 Pie device. So if you need to test your application in some other versions of Android, you may need not to buy another device, right? So for reducing that thing, here comes an Android emulator, which is a simple BlueStacks like application, which imports your Android OS into your Windows operating system, and you may use whatever thing you need, and you can test your applications using this Android emulator also. So, and this is a simple clip why emulators are being used. So these much helpful things we can do, like we can simulate phone, tablets, and even Android TV also, and Android watch like thing. So we can resize the window, like any kind of size of like mobile, you can customize whatever thing you can do with your real-time device can also be done with your emulators, like sound and rotating your phone, like changing it to landscape and portrait, and taking camera shutters, like zooming in your device, like part of your device. So whatever basic things you can do with your normal device can also be done with your emulator, so that without damaging your real device, you can use your emulators also. So like taking screenshots of your application, this may be helpful in your when you post your application, when you push your application in Google Play Store, you may need some screenshots for application. So at that time, you can use this screenshot options also. And if you need to test your application, you can simply drag your APK file into your emulator, and you can simply install it, and you can check it, right? So this is a very simple and easy method like you can change your location. If you are developing a map application like which uses GPS locations, you can customizely give your locations. You cannot test with your real device by going to some other locations and test your application in one place. You can test everything what you can test with your real device can be done with your emulators. And yeah, next next is an alternative for Play Store. So if you have developed your application, you have tested your application, at last you need to publish your application to your friends, colleagues, and everyone you need as a user. So for publishing your application in Google Play Store, you need to pay some amount, right? Like $24 or some amount of money you need to pay. So without, as a beginner, you're paying for an application which may not earn you revenue, but you may need to like extend your user base. So what can we do as an alternative for Play Store is your Amazon App Store. So I think everyone know about some basic features of Windows 11, right? So Microsoft has introduced Windows 11, and the main feature of Windows 11 is Android support for Windows 11. In Windows 11, they use Amazon App Store as their main source of applications for installing Android apps in your Windows platform. So it's a great time for now. If you are developing an application, you can simply push your application to Amazon App Store and make available your application to a wide range of people. So as of Play Store, Amazon App Store has a scope for booming into Play Store, like app distribution portion. See, this is how Microsoft has introduced Android support for PC. Like if you go to Microsoft Store now, I think now it is in beta testing so Windows 11. And if it comes to live, you can share your application to Amazon App Store and make it available to people. So it's a cost efficient way. It's a free of cost. So everyone can, even a single Hello World application, you can publish to your Amazon App Store, which will give you into right. So you are also developing an application, you are publishing it to some people, and some people, your friends, are maybe using your application. If you simply create an APK or AAB, and if you are sending it to your friends through WhatsApp, they won't install, right? The application, the Android device will be asking many permissions, and the people may afraid. So my friend has sent me an malware, something. They may think of like that. So if you publish your application to a Play Store like Amazon App Store, the people may simply click on install button, your application is installed. So this is a very simple thing. Make use of this Android App Store option. And see, this is how the Play Store, this much of things are there, like Google Play Store, Amazon, Apple App Store is not for Android. So Windows Store, Amazon App Store, as of 2018 views, we have 430,000 of apps being published in Amazon App Store. So it might be increased in 2021, and it will be increasing. It is increasing. It's a booming Play Store, right? So let me show you, before ending, let me show you a simple way to how can we build your application. Let me share the screen. Give me a minute. I have the screen is visible. Let me show you this simple Android application. So this is a very, very simple Hello World application. It simply shows Hello World. It does nothing. This is an Android application, very simple Android application. Let me show you when it how it will be appearing in your devices. So you can see Pixel 3 device has a resolution of 1080p by 2160, and different devices have different sizes, right? So we cannot have a real device like these much devices, like you can see Pixel 3a, 3a XL, these much devices. We cannot test all with all these devices. So that's why we are using emulators also. So these are this is a very simple application. Let me show you how can we build an APK of this application. Just simply navigate to build option. You can see build bundles or APK. The AAB is shortly named as bundle. and you can also use generate signed bundle or APK. So what is the difference between these two things is generate signed bundle means, so you're publishing your application in Google Play Store. How will you uniquely identify this is your own application? So some people may download your application and change without changing anything like any name, any icon. They can simply upload it to re-upload to their Play Store, right? So how Google prevents is this generate signed APK will provide you a single simple license like code, which will be used whenever you upload your application. So that will be a unique identification. So that's what we are using, generate signed APK. So if I press it, it shows some options like we need to create an AAB or APK. So it shows, right? It shows some advantages of using AAB, like smaller download size, on-demand features, and assets only modules. So this is what I said. On-demand app features is whatever things needed for your specific mobile device is only provided for you, as your download size will be highly reduced. So, and the next thing is APK. It's a normal thing. What we'll be doing in our daily life. So we need to provide a key store path. So this is what our license thing, like copyright thing. So we need to provide a simple path and a password and a alias name and password and years of validity. How much years your application will be valid? This licensing will be valid, and your first name, organizing unit, organization, everything, whatever you need. These are the licensing thing. This will be unique for your application. You need to store this file safely, because this is the only key to open the lock of your application. So that's why this is very unique. So at last, if you press next, it'll be creating your AAB. For now, let me simply choose normal build, simply select build. If you press build APK, it will build an APK like this. See, you can see an app-debug.apk. This is a generated application. It is the size of this application is about 4 MB of size. Will you download this application? Because it shows simply hello world. If you open this application, it shows simply hello world. But the size of this application is 4 MB. Nowadays, highly futuristic applications are simply around 5 MB of size, but the simple hello world program is 4 MB of size. So if you publish this APK to your Play Store, it will also download of 4 MB of size. So if I use app bundle, it also creates a simple application. So, but it uses app-debug.aab. So the size of this application is simply 3.55 MB. So you can simply see the difference, right? So this is around 3.55 MB and 4.2 MBs. So this simple application has this much difference, right? So if you are developing an application like around 200 MB of size, there will be a huge difference. Even if you push this AAB to your Google Play Store, the users will receive only 2 or 100 KB of size. So that's what their application need. So Google automatically optimizes it and makes use of this your application. So I hope this will be useful. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tamil Kannan, and also Kirtik. I really think that the syntax that was shared by Kirtik was very easily learnable. I mean, the for loop syntax was pretty much like a mixture of C++, Python, and Haskell. So I think anyone who has done some basic programming can easily go ahead and learn Kotlin and build the apps of their choice. And also the presentation by Tamil Kannan was pretty insightful, and we were able to see the actual working that is going on. So thank you, both of you, and the participants. You can ask your questions in the chat if you have any. The speakers are here to answer them. Also, About the other 2 days that we have in the event, we are going to have some real fun activities based on today's event. So we'll be also assessing how much you all have listened to today's event, because I warned in between that you all have to be very attentive to the information that is being shared. So tomorrow we'll be having some interactive activities like quizzes or something. Okay, let's keep that a surprise. And based on that, if you win, the DSCs will be giving out swags to all of you. The winners, I mean, not all of you. So yeah, I would encourage you all to actively participate tomorrow as well as day after tomorrow, because today it was our chance to speak and tomorrow it will be your chance to interact. So make sure you come tomorrow as well as day after tomorrow. And right now, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask. Yes, go ahead, sir.
So, thank you, Tamil Kannan and Kritik. That was a well-structured explanation, and I think it was a good start for even the beginners. And I hope everyone learned something from this. And please, participants, actually, as Ravisha told, have the same enthusiasm for the next 2 days also, since Android Study Jams was planned for 3 days. And you know, the next 2 days are hands-on sessions. So both the sessions will be as great as today. And as she said, we'll have fun activities too. So don't miss them, and please have a consistent participation. If you have doubts, please unmute and ask the speakers.
Okay, I'm receiving one of the questions. If Keith
Excuse me, you're muted. Actually, we can't hear your question.
I'm so sorry. I kept talking. Okay, I received a question from Arun. He's asking, are there any advantages of Kotlin over Python? And any of you can answer that.
Basically, Python is easier to learn, to be honest. But in Android development, we generally don't use Python as much as Kotlin. So if you want to go down in Android development, you must definitely will be learning Java, Kotlin, or Flutter. So if you want to build native, you can go with Java or Kotlin. So if you want to build cross-platform applications, which can run on both Android as well as iOS, you can use Flutter. So this will be the answer for this. No, Python mostly cannot be used for developing applications as of now.
Yeah, as far as my knowledge is concerned, we generally use Python for backend applications, like the backend part of the applications. And we generally don't talk about Python when we are talking about Android applications or web applications. So I don't think that would be a good comparison to make. Okay, I received another message from, okay, am I only getting the private messages, or are you guys not able to post it in the everyone chat? You have to go to the 2 button that you see. It's not like a button, like on the right side of it, you will see a drop down, and there you have to click everyone in the meeting. I guess it's a mistake that everyone is messaging me directly. So I have received another message from Balaji VS. And the question is, does Kotlin need a runtime for Android?
Yeah, can you repeat the question? I can't get the thing right.
Okay, Balaji is
sense, what he
asking.
means.
Okay, you can ask that to Balaji. His question is, does Kotlin need a runtime for Android? What do you mean by runtime? I mean, if you could elaborate your question, please.
I think everyone can unmute, right? So it'll be better if you unmute and ask your doubts.
Balaji VS, can you unmute yourself and ask your question? Another question from Hazel Sidona by the time Balaji comes up with his question. What is the requirement for the hands-on session?
I'll be posting the required links for downloading. For the hands-on session, the participants will need to install Android Studio in their respective devices, their respective laptops. So I'll be posting the links on how to install Android Studio, as well as the course link on Android developer.android.com. So the participants can now refer to the chat, and you can see how to install Android Studio on Windows or Linux or Mac OS, whichever OS you are having. So we have posted all the three links. It will be better if you refer to the video which OS you are going to work on. So the basic requirement for tomorrow and day after session will be to have Android Studio. That's it.
Also, it's one of my questions. This question was coming to me several times. Is there any alternative for Android Studio? Like, can we use Visual Studio Code or some other editor? This can be answered by the speakers, maybe.
Yes, you can use Visual Studio Code to develop Android applications. Since Android Studio is officially supported for Android development and also have some nifty features under its build, we use Android Studio. But if you want to use Microsoft Visual Studio Code, it's perfectly fine, and you can actually use it for developing Android applications.
Okay, great. And what do you use for emulator when you use Visual Studio Code?
Based on my knowledge, I think there is an emulator available for Microsoft Visual Studio Code. I think you have to install the plugin for it. I'm not pretty sure. I will just Google it up and say.
Okay, I'm not sure about Kotlin, but when I was working with Flutter, we used an online emulator. Like one of the participants, one of the team members of mine used online emulator, and the other one was using the Android phones that we have as an emulator. So just in case Android Studio is heavy on your laptops, maybe you can consider installing Visual Studio Code. Any more questions?
And participants from Sairam Engineering College, I hope the coordinator has put the links, form link for registering. So I guess you can refer to the link, this link for all the participants from Sairam Engineering College. As like I said before, I will also post the links for the respective other GDSCs from Bakhtiyarpur College of Engineering and Sri Sairam Institute of Technology. You can register in this respective links for your respective colleges, and I guess you can join the WhatsApp group and start working on it. Are there any more doubts coming?
Okay, I'm receiving one from Balaji. Okay, Balaji, you can just go ahead and unmute yourself if you want. I'll recite your question, but it's better if you unmute yourself. So, okay, let me recite. Okay, Balaji is saying that he is using PC, so he can't. I guess that's not a problem, but it's okay. Balaji's question is Swift versus Kotlin for Apple ecosystem, which is more efficient and effective?
I think generally Kotlin is not used for iOS. Shift and Flutter is used for iOS development, I think so. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So are there any more queries?
Robin, maybe you can network with people in your own DSC. You must be having some Discord channel or Telegram channel. Go ahead and network with people, and maybe you can find your teammates. Okay, Sanjeev is asking some information on Flutter. What is it exactly?
I hope this question will be answered by Tamil Kannan, who is our Flutter lead. So yeah, Tamil Kannan.
Yeah, yes. Flutter is an cross-platform developing language. So it's a framework. It's simply a framework developed by Google, which is officially owned by Google. So by using Flutter, you can create applications for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and Linux, and even embedded systems also, and even for web. So that's Flutter. It's a framework. We use Dart as a programming language for Flutter. Android Studio is an IDE, right? So we use IDE for developing languages. It's a playground where we can play any kind of games, right? So that is the thing. So Android Studio is we can develop a Flutter in Android Studio also.
Robin, I just said that if you want to network with other developers to help you build some Android projects, maybe you can talk to people in your own Discord or Telegram channel that you have for your DSC. I guess if we don't have any more questions, we can wrap up the session.
Okay, the participants the participants and the coordinators, can you like turn on your video so like we can have a screenshot? This will be going on the walls of all our GDSC communities.
Yeah, we highly encourage the participants also to turn on your cameras if you can. It's just for a screenshot. There's another question from Dhanlakshmi.
Participants, leads, and coordinators, all the coordinators, can you like turn on the videos?
Okay, I see this.
Wait, let me just check it. Wait. Okay, sorry for the issue. I'll just check. Can you check now, participants? Can you check if you can turn on the videos now? Yeah, okay. Akash, Sanjeev, Suman. Really great to see bright faces in this evening. What is the syntax for printing statements in Kotlin? Kritik, can you answer that in the chat?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay. They are asking for like the syntax. So I hope you guys had fun learned new things about Kotlin and Android. Can I get a reply in the chat? Did you learn new things about Kotlin? Does anyone know more about Kotlin? Like, have you worked on Kotlin before?
And how many of you are already starting with developing apps for this campaign? Another question from Robin, which is the best language to code an AI-based image recognition app?
Yeah. Thank you, participants. Like, we have taken the screenshot. I guess you can turn off the videos now. So to answer that, best AI recognition app. So mostly web app will be the best one to host it, because you can either web app, you can convert it to a mobile application, as well as you can uh, base it as a website. So for best, I guess Python will be recently Python is being the best language for coding and learning regarding to AI. So Python as backend, like Ravisham said, will be the perfect one. Thank you, Avinash. Thank you. Okay, to Avinash, Kritik has posted the uh, syntax, so you can just, if you want, you can just go through that. Is there anyone else having any doubts about the session today?
Also, please make sure you are updated with your own DSC social media platforms and stuff, so that you can sign up for tomorrow's and day after tomorrow's event as well.
Yeah, we will be
Also, we'll be posting the recording of the session, so you can access it whenever you want after we publish it on YouTube or something. So.
we'll be posting all the videos together in a single ASJ community channel, so you can, so I guess you'll be able to access it soon. Yeah. So yeah, okay, cool. I guess that's it. If anyone else having any doubt, channel link. Avinash, which college are you from? Sairam Institute or Engineering College? Okay. So if you're in the WhatsApp groups, you'll get the notification there about the tomorrow's hands-on session. Also in the Telegram groups. So stay tuned in the groups. If not, just ping me your email. I'll just mail the invite links to your mail. Yeah, okay. So anyone else?
I guess anyone who has joined the DSC chapters on the Google DSC platform, you will anyways be receiving emails as soon as the event is closer. Like when there is 6 hours to go to the event, you'll already be receiving a mail from the platform itself.
You'll be receiving the mail. So ensure that you have removed the mail from GDSC from the spam, because it usually goes to the spam. Ensure you have unchecked, make sure it's in your, it comes to your main inbox, and just remove it from the spam. Because we will be, all the GDSCs will be hosting new sessions every single month. So ensure the GDSC mail, the GDSC automated mail, not in your spam box. Can we share our LinkedIn profiles there? Yeah, sure, Robin. If you want, we can just, can you publish the video once the session is over so people don't miss? Sure, Vasha. I'll just make sure I post it by tonight. We will share the links in your respective GDSC groups, the channels. So sure. Any other queries to the participants who joined late? Like if you want to catch up, we will post the PPTs and regarding links soon. Thank you so much, Suman, Prakash. Thank you so much.
By the way, Suman Prakash Keshri is my tech lead.
Oh, cool. Like he didn't, we didn't know that. So
Yeah.